Okay, I gotta adjust because I'm not fucking handsome. Finally, we come to the end of Season 1, and you expletive-deleted motherfuckers are in for a treat if you define treat as a video about a crusty old N64 game and the unfinished Xbox 360 port that was leaked in, around, or on top of early 2021. Goldeneye 007 was released in the summer of 1997 and proved that your movie tie-in game didn't have to come out next to the release of the movie to make money, as long as it was one of the best games ever. The next 3 years would include hundreds of matches of Goldeneye amongst my circle of friends, only putting the game down in 2000 when Perfect Dark came out. Between those multiplayer matches and the rest of that annoying life bit, I poured myself into the single player. Unfortunately, this video is pretty much going to focus on the single player. Fortunately, the single player is and always has been brilliant. Unfortunately, the original release of the game on the N64 is, as previously stated, encrusted. I've repeatedly tried going back to the game over the years on the N64 with the N64 Claw, and what I found was a prime example of a great game aging poorly. It's not even the graphics, as Super Mario 64 looks primitive as hell now, but the game is still aged gracefully. The frame rate in Goldeneye was never considered good, so I don't think it's fair to consider that poor aging. The low resolution is definitely a much bigger problem now than it was back in the day when that was just how everything looked. I was still rocking the same CRT TV from 10 years prior in 2007 when my friends and I decided to fire up Goldeneye for nostalgia's sake. Within 30 minutes, we were all ready to put the game down because trying to see what was happening on our tiny little blurry-ass quadrant of a screen, it just wasn't terribly fun. The weapons were still fun, the old strategies were still great to pull off, but when you feel like you're stumbling around mostly blind, it wears on you. It's not quite as much of a problem in single player, where you at least get the entire screen to yourself, but single player can't save you from the controls. Say what you will about the N64 controller, it's weird going back to it after years of standard dual-stick FPS controls on consoles. You have one analog stick, and that controls moving and turning. The C buttons control strafing and looking up and down. That's what I used for the entire lifespan of the N64 with no problems, possibly because I never played any FPSs on the PS1, but as soon as Halo came out, the dual analog control scheme rallied his cousin's dwarf army and completely took over the console FPS controls wrinkle in my brain. Luckily, the game does have control options, and I found one that worked alright. The D-pad can be used for moving, and the analog stick can be used for looking, with the L button used for precision aiming and the Z button still used to fire your weapon, essentially working as a really solid dual analog stick equivalent. Unfortunately, the A and B buttons are still needed to reload and switch weapons as well as for opening doors, so I end up needing to awkwardly bend my thumb to hit them pretty constantly. But this does make the game much more playable whenever I revisit the old hardware, which is perfect because we're not going to be using the N64 controller. Instead, we're playing the aforementioned unreleased but semi-recently leaked Xbox 360 port. Why not play the actual Xbox port that has since been released? Because I don't own an Xbox. I have a PC. Why the fuck would I need an Xbox? I do have a Switch, and Goldeneye is now available on the Switch Online service, but the truth is I recorded this footage before they even announced Goldeneye for Switch. I played a little bit of it on the Switch just to try it out, and it's good. It's the blurry-ass N64 original being emulated decently enough at a 720p resolution, with the frame rate smoothed out to 30 frames per seconds. You can edit the controls in the system menu and in-game menu to give you something approximating dual analog controls, so overall it's really not the worst way to play it, but since I already played this leaked unfinished Xbox 360 port that contains content not actually seen in the 2023 Xbox and Switch releases, let's just go ahead and enjoy ourselves some of this leaked build. Even though there are obvious signs of an incomplete project all over the place, the game is still perfectly playable, including an option for a blurry-ass original look or a nice updated HD look that seems to replace Alan Cummings with John Oliver.
I would not!
The frame rate is now smooth and steady and the controls are modernized. Basically, this plays and feels like the Perfect Dark HD remaster, and that's a great thing. I'm gonna burp it though. I'm gonna burp about it. The game opens with a rocking-ass compressed-to-hell version of the James Bond theme and shows off the game's cast of characters along with their once-new HD look. Beyond that, the classic opening menu screen with the standard Xbox Live Arcade options. Heading to the control settings, we can see some unfinished menu work. Immediately noticeable is the goofy-ass eyeball arrow meat beast that rests menacingly atop the right analog stick, but your eyes will inevitably be drawn to the control button graphics, showing that the Xbox's play button aims, fires, and toggles the updated graphics. This isn't actually the case though, as those functions are relegated to the shoulder buttons, specifically left trigger, and right bumper respectively. As the graph sort of points out, below you'll notice the A button listed twice, but the first one, Cycle Weapons, is actually performed by the Y button. All the necessary menu options are here and they all work. The issues with this version overall are just skin deep. Hopping into the campaign, you'll be greeted with only the first level available, and selecting that will bring you to the difficulty selection screen. In this game, you don't simply choose a difficulty option and play through the whole campaign. You choose the difficulty setting alongside the level every time. That's because each difficulty setting is part of the overall game. You're meant to complete every level on all 3 difficulty settings. Since the game boots you back to the level selection screen after every level, it facilitates a playstyle that allows you to hop around the campaign, completing whatever objectives you feel like. On top of the difficulty settings, there are a myriad of unlockable weapons and cheats and multiplayer things obtainable through completing levels on specific difficulties under certain items, giving you plenty of reason to revisit levels all over the campaign. The difficulty settings themselves, of course, offer more than simple damage and health rebalancing. On the majority of levels, choosing a higher difficulty option increases the number of objectives that need to be completed. These objectives include things like speaking to specific people, placing tracking and hacking devices, destroying certain objects, killing specific people, stealing a VHS copy of Goldeneye, pew-pewing security cameras, and many other things we'll get into soon enough. All of this gives Goldeneye a little bit of an immersive sim flavor, and all of this definitely differentiated it from most first-person shooters back in the 90s. Playing the game for this video, I didn't bother trying to unlock everything, like every single cheat or unlockable. That shit took me 3 years the first time. I definitely don't have that kind of time now. I did, however, play through every mission on all 3 difficulties. I decided to play the entire campaign on Agent using the modern HD graphics, then again on Secret Agent using the classic N64 graphics, then one last time on 00 Agent using the HD graphics once again. Rather than run through the entire gameplay experience in chronological order, I'm simply going to be making my way through this in mission order, primarily focusing on 00 Agent mode and only touching on lower difficulty settings when I have something to say about them, which isn't much. Alright, so finally, first level, the dam. In 00 Agent mode, you have 4 objectives to complete, whereas you have just 2 objectives on Secret Agent and 1 objective on Agent. That 1 objective, bungee jumping off the dam, is how you exit the level, so your first time through on Agent is basically just a straightforward shoot everyone and get to the end of the level kind of thing. But here in 00 Agent, we have to neutralize all alarms, install a covert modem, and then intercept a data backup before jumping off the dam. There's flavor text to read that can help a first-time player figure out what to do, but I'm not going to waste everyone's time here. Finally getting to the actual gameplay portion of the goddamn video, we make quick work of the first guy before picking up his gun, but I really like our silenced pistol, so we switch back to that and continue our murder doings. Those of you unfamiliar with the game might be thinking, wait, you're playing with auto-aim on?
You're goddamn right I did!
Goldeneye was designed with auto-aiming in mind. You only have a single health bar to get through the level, and there are no health pickups in this game. There are a few body armor pickups, which can be life-saving, but that's it. You have no mid-level checkpoints either, so the game is essentially asking you to play each level near perfectly. And some of these levels have infinitely respawning enemies. Just because this version of the game has actual good controls doesn't mean the game is easy. Besides, I tried playing on the easiest difficulty without auto-aim, but there's no crosshair in this game outside of precision aiming, so it makes it a little difficult to tell it where exactly I'm going to shoot. I find this extremely annoying to the point that I turned auto-aim back on before even entering the first tunnel. The game was designed for auto-aim. Let James Bond do his thing. God damn it. Anyway, back in 00 Agent and coming to an end of this tunnel, I decided to proceed cautiously. As you can see, auto-aim doesn't actually work unless the enemies are within a certain range. Trying to make my way closer, I take a few hits before remembering that I could just stop being stupid and use my sniper rifle I grabbed from the first tower. Yep, just like that. Hip firing at a guy's knees. Okay, there you go. Actually snipe with the rifle. Good boy. It might seem strange now, but back in 97, it made perfect sense that instead of switching to a scope view or iron sights for any other gun, the game simply zooms in and places a crosshair on screen. Once we've completed our murders, we need to press a button to open the door and let this truck driven by the world's least give-a-shit driver ever mosey on through. It doesn't matter that we're loudly gunning down everyone around him, he's gonna park his truck, damn it. And he's gonna park it safely, and he's gonna park it slowly, he's gonna park it the way he wanna. Fuck you, Jambo. Jambo. Moving on to this building over here, we shoot more dudes. We have to make sure to get this guy before he sets off the alarm, then destroy the alarm and swing around here to see a grate apparently covered by bulletproof glass. What the fuck? Oh, we also need to place our extremely covert, massive, chunky modem to this panel before shooting the lock off this gate and making our way to the dam itself. Now we can... got his hat. Clumsily fail repeatedly to snipe the first guard tower guard until the gate slams shut in our face. We do a little bit better on the second guard tower. Looks like I got him in the neck. I decide to simply lure the last guard down from his tower and shoot him in the face when he gets close enough. So, I like Ross's game dungeon over on Accursed Farms. I was watching the Sin episode, and around the 5-minute mark, Ross says this.
Okay, now the first time I played this game, I saw the bad guys, started shooting, then was disappointed. Man, look at that. 5 or more shots to bring him down? Our very first enemies are light bullet sponges, huh? Not what I want to see. Then I had a straight shot later and bam! One-shot kill. What? Oh! The armor actually does something! Oh my god! Now some of you may be saying, so what? But this is the first time I ever saw something like this in a first-person shooter. Mind blown. Yeah, this game has body region-based damage on the enemies. I'm pretty sure House of the Dead had this, but Sin was still one of the early ones.
This immediately made me think of Goldeneye, a game that came out a full year before Sin. Doing a little bit of research on the topic, it seems that Goldeneye may in fact be the first FPS to have region-based damage. The enemies take more or less damage depending on where you shoot them, and will even react to specific places shot. I remember this being impressive as hell when this game first came out, but I always figured with the FPS genre being so PC-centric in the 90s, that there must have been a game on PC that did this first. Outside of Resident Evil in 96 having headshots and Virtua Cop in 94, a game that was said to have been an inspiration for Goldeneye, seemingly being the first light gun shooter to heavily utilize the feature, I can't seem to find any other shooters with this feature prior to Goldeneye. Anyway, being careless with ammo has left us with not enough to destroy the next alarm. There's an alarm in each guard tower, and they can't be damaged with melee attacks. We head up to see if we can find the gun the guard up here was carrying, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere. His hat's still here though. We then immediately forget to go pick up the gun from the guard we just killed over there and head downstairs to try to beat someone to death. We bludgeon this potato and take his bullets. Now the goal has become to clear everyone out of these tunnels while keeping enough bullets to— fuck, I died. Okay, back to the beginning. Ugh, why the fuck am I so stupid? Move closer. Ha! Never saw it coming. What? This time around, we do a much better job of sniping that first guard. Then it's time to snipe the alarm. Why are you doing this? Also, I don't know why the glass broke over here. Unfinished game, man. Next guard and we miss the shot, but when the guard comes down to investigate, we get another chance. The first shot hits the shoulder and doesn't take him down, but being an incredibly resilient, well-trained professional soldier, he pulls off the expert maneuver of stepping a little bit to the side. This saves his life, but we manage to outsmart him mere moments later and place a second, more lethal shot into his other shoulder. Third guard and it's a direct hit to the back of his head. That merely being a warning shot, we take our actual shot at the true target, the guard tower itself. Taking out the remaining alarms, objective A is complete and we can now move downstairs to end more lives. Thankfully, these massive explosions don't alert any of the nearby guards and we can shoot this one through the gap between the boxes stacked on top of each other. Now it's a simple matter of stealth murdering our way down the hallway until one guy sees another guy get shot and comes running. Only after that guy fires his weapon at me are other guards alerted and the fight gets a little more one-sided. Oh, hello. Yeah, so the AI in this game isn't exactly brilliant, but it was the 90s and it got the job done. Now we've made it to the computer room. Hey, did you know that everything in this game explodes? You thought those barrels and crates were just filled with explosives? Nah, everything is filled with explosives. Even these servers with the backup data. Oh, shit. Okay, back to the beginning. Finally back in the tunnels, we shoot this guy in the hand, but he just doesn't feel the need to deal with any of this shit today. Now this guy right here, that's the scariest guy in the game. Okay, so this time, do the data backup, don't blow up the servers. Now we just jump off the dam. Bond? Bond, where's the bungee? Bond, where's the bungee? And we're off to facility. Special Agent and 00 Agent both have the full list of objectives, and Agent simply knocks off the need to contact the double agent. Once again, we're skipping the flavor text because you've had over 25 years to play this game and you can go read it yourself. In a prophecy of what was to come, we start off this mission in a vent, and this vent lets us peek into the men's restroom.
You can only see up to their ankles.
So you just go around looking through random holes?
Yes, but not anymore. Now I just look through this one.
Okay, so he's there, facing the door. The toilet is back here. He's either sneaking in a break by pretending to poop, or he's literally launching turds into the bowl while standing up. Unfortunately, I slipped down to the stall a little too early and I don't remember the trick to getting back up. It was something incredibly simple too, like ducking and strafing right or something, but whatever. I'll deal with him. Shit, that immediately backfired. Always check the other stalls for more fake poopers. They're fake poopers. Their pants aren't even unbuttoned. You know, my dog Rocket was pooping, as he does, and he was having a bit of trouble. I heard him make a little noise and looked over to see a turd sticking straight out of his butt right before he farted and launched the turd at least 6 inches. Oh yeah, shooting dudes. There's not much enemy variety in this game, mostly dudes and turrets, but they're still incredibly fun to shoot. We pick up the clearance B key card and use it to access this panel, which opens this door, which we can use to access this area to place these bullets into that skull. The double agent can be any random scientist in the level, so we have to run around to all of them until we find the right guy. Oh, poor guy, there's a mosquito or something bugging him. Maybe I can help him with that. And then everyone explodes. Start over. Coming back, I decide to not duck into that side room that I died in and instead progress through the level, hoping the double agent isn't in that one room. And he's not. He's in a room further back that I also skipped. He gives us the thing he needed to open the last door to take us to Sean Bean's character, 006. There are 10 tanks that need to be blown up by 5 mines, so make sure you place these mines on the inside of the tanks to get all of them. Some guards come busting through the door and 006 decides to fight them off while standing right next to the exploding tanks filled with deadly gas, and we mercilessly blow him the fuck up because he's Sean Bean and dying is what he does best. Now we simply duck into this delivery tunnel to finish the fuck! Okay, we make it through the next time, which allows Bond to simply pose there with his gun because nobody's coming to shoot him in the back this time. I guess fine, whatever, I don't even care anymore. Heading out onto the runway, we gotta blow up some shit and steal a plane. We kill this guy, who I guess was just casually going to go check on all the noise from the previous level, but judging by what we can see through the cracks, it appears there's nothing left to check on. We pew-pew our way over to the office and grab this key, and then it's off to steal a tank. I know this wasn't the first vehicle section in an FPS, but I wonder if this was the first one that was fun. Carmageddon 64, an M-rated game, was forced to change the people to zombies, but this shit here was rated T. So we blow up the things, hop in the plane, and peace the fuck out. 4th level and it's surface time. We're here to tamper, steal, and break in. This one is fun because it gives you so much room to move around. You can get around to various positions to carefully snipe everyone from a long distance, or you can simply run at top speed shooting everyone in the face. It's good stuff. The enemy count here is kept real low, even after this camera somehow spots us all the way over here and the alarm goes off. Alarms typically mean infinitely spawning enemies for the rest of the level, and in this level, that just keeps things from getting boring. Also, see all those fences with trees beyond that? Thanks to hardware limitations in the original version, those fences are the trees. Fucking Clob is useless. Much better. You see that guy go flying? There was no ragdoll physics in 97. That shit is handcrafted animation. The level of detail in these character death animations at that time was unparalleled. This is what a AAA game looked like in the 90s. Well, this is actually close to what it looked like, but still, being a AAA game used to actually mean a high-quality, polished gaming experience. Sometimes. After a bit of back and forth between cabins to get keys, we can finally grab the bunker plans from the safe before dropping in through this grate. Landing inside the bunker, we are given our most complex mission so far, requiring us to blow up some stuff, but not other stuff. Take things, use gadgets, untake things, threaten and murder people, and practice photography, all before running out into the freezing winter night. It's a cool level. It's small as the bunker is still being built, but it's densely packed with enemies and the various objectives keep you moving throughout the whole level. The annoying thing is that you're not allowed to kill this prick, even after he trips the alarm.
Wee woo, boner alert!
This one took a few attempts, but it's not too bad. The shorter length makes replaying this one until you get it right pretty painless, and that makes it the perfect place for a bump up in difficulty. So 5th mission down, and it's not too bad. Next up, Silo. Agent difficulty only requires us to photograph the satellite and not kill too many scientists, but here on 00 agent difficulty, we've got to also plant bombs in fuel rooms while grabbing some data and circuitry along the way. So fun little bonus feature of these bombs, they activate at the beginning of the level, giving us a time limit of 8.5 minutes. Open the first door, take out the first guard, shoot the second guard and the dick. Twice. The third guard does this brilliant life-preserving maneuver, but with some quick thinking, we're able to formulate a clever countermeasure that allows us to barely scrape by our proverbial teeth skin. Entering the first room, the posted guard is conveniently hidden by a pillar, so we swing around these scientists to surprise the guard, who immediately leaps into decisive action and heroically flees for safety, bravely dying with honor on the field of battle. Before leaving the room, we grab some circuit boards, scare the scientists away, and grab one of the keycards. There's a nice explosion around this corner, and back in the day, this kind of thing meant your barely stable 16 frames per second frame rate was going to temporarily drop to a solid 4 frames per second while these explosions played out in their entirety. Into the next room, and we kill 2 guards, the gunfire luring the 3rd guard through the door and down the stairs. The AI in this game can't see over railings, treating them like solid walls, so while we're in front of the staircase like this, the enemy will never stop to shoot us until coming all the way down the stairs and then establishing a clear line of sight. Scare more scientists, grab another circuit board and key card, and head up to a pretty mean little trap. There are enemies on either side of this intersection, so we take out the one that isn't hiding behind cover before going after the one that is. Unfortunately, we take a hit and are left with no health before the guard in the doorway lands the killing blow, taking our 0 health down to nothing. Overall, not a bad first attempt. Second attempt. Alright, made it back to the intersection, need to play this a little safer. Once these 3 goobers are taken care of, we have a convenient little bottleneck of goobers to kill. I mean, most of this level is essentially one big bottleneck, as these corridors aren't doing the AI any favors. This next room has no guards in it, so we take a moment to complete objectives C and D, as well as pick up another keycard. Up the stairs, into the hallway, and immediately we're met with 3 guards. Going left here leads to some much needed body armor, then it's back the other way for some much needed victims, until we end up with some much unneeded many bullets poisoning. Perfect, nailed it. Couldn't have done it without you, auto-aim. We basically do everything again, but better this time, returning once again to the box army. See, these guys behind the boxes, they love their boxes and will never leave their sides. This does allow us to duck below their line of fire and focus on thinning out the distant herd, but then the box guys feel left out and start throwing grenades that we completely don't notice because we're so focused on the distant herd. Making our way back on this, the 4th attempt, doing everything all over again and having a great time doing it until... Oops, sorry buddy, didn't mean to shoot you. It's just that you startled me and... oh, fuck you. Back here again, I get an actual idea. I hang back on the walkway, taking out the firebox boys before moving in close on the 3rd. This leaves only the non-box ones who have no grenades but can move independently of box and all. You know, when they feel like it. Finally making it to the 4th room, we kill the single guard before snapping a photo of the satellite. Now all we have to do is plant bombs in the fuel rooms and get the hell out of here. Now all we have to do is everything all over again. Once we're ready to exit the satellite room, we lure the enemies through the door so we can kill them one at a time, but Oromov won't fall for the same trick. He'll stand there, invincible and repeatedly shooting you until you get close enough to run away. Following him will take you to the final stretch of the level, where upon opening the door, the guy on the left tries to just nope out of view, but unfortunately for him, our view goes wherever our head goes. Finally, we reach the level exit, but fuck damn it, we forgot to plant the bombs. Realizing now that the only parts of this level that aren't hallways have big explosive fuel tanks along the wall, we attempt to run all the way back through the level to plant 8 bombs before heading back through the whole level again to get to the exit, all in about 2 minutes. Which is obviously stupid and impossible, so we quit halfway through and book it because we're tired of dying. Of course this means the mission failed and we have to do the whole thing again. Holy shit fists, we finally make it to the end of the level, and we can finally move on to the frigate, the most unfinished level in this unfinished build of the game. As you can see, it's missing the actual water, but that's really about the only thing wrong with the level. We have to rescue some hostages, disarm some bombs, and plant a tracking device on a helicopter. First attempt, we head inside only for the first hostage to get executed. At this point, I decided to simply try again. I'm not trying to get a perfect run, but failing to get the first hostage is a real morale killer, you know? It's like, why even bother? Might as well just let the bombs explode at that point. This time around, we cut through this hallway and plant the bulky-ass tracker on the helicopter. Perfect, no one will ever notice the bug there. Now, heading around the other side, we shoot some dudes and make our way to a different first hostage this time, who promptly gets executed. Okay, fuck it, let's press on. Making a break for the bridge, we pop in and immediately take out the hostage holder guy before killing the other two guys and actually rescuing a hostage. And then we die. The next time around, we take a slightly different route, gathering up as many bad guys as possible to kill before rescuing the bridge hostage. We don't save this hostage here again, but we do save the hostage in the next room. We quickly run outside to plant the bug again before heading downstairs to rescue some more hostages. The guard down the hall does a magic trick, but we outsmart him with bullets, then enter the room and shoot the first person we see. So this time, we go right for this hostage, but we lose the hostage in the next room over yet again. We escort the rescued hostage on a tour to see the helicopter before running right back into the room he was held captive in. I don't know, I guess he knows what he's doing. We let him wander off and head towards the bridge to rescue the next hostage. Then it's downstairs once again. This time, we don't shoot the hostage. Making our way into the engine room, we rescue another hostage before disarming the bomb. Save the bridge hostage, kill some dudes, plant the tracker, save this hostage, finally save this. Nope, never mind. Down the stairs, almost murder this hostage again because I'm incapable of learning, kill a lot of dudes, make it to the engine room again, and disarm the bomb with the bomb diffuser. Finally, we head back to the bridge, use the bomb diffuser to disarm the bomb there, and exit the level. Easy. We're now sent back to surface, where we basically have to break all their shit before getting back inside the bunker. This time around, the level is absolutely crawling with enemies, the first of which drops a clob. We immediately don't switch to that shit and keep using our silenced pistol. For a little while. We do pick up a KF-7 Soviet, but almost every other enemy just drops clob ammo, so we give in and just start using the clob. We run around aimlessly for a while until eventually we find a cabin with a security camera on it. We need to disrupt all surveillance equipment, so we open fire and the alarm starts blaring. At this point, the KF-7 is coming out and the goons are going down in no time. Heading inside, we see they gave the higher officers double the number of shitty guns, which are now ours along with the comms room key. Great, now I can make my way over and contact the enemy. Wait, why am I doing this? Fuck! And so we start over again and begin the fight back to where we were. Somehow we don't trip the alarm this time, and once we get to the comms room, we blow shit up like a good FPS player should. Heading back outside, we're greeted by a bunch of murder victims. After collecting their clob ammo, we're left with just enough to waste trying to hit this guy who's clearly too far for a gun with such a viciously awful spread. It's like the fucking Doom 3 shotgun. Great for a melee weapon. Before we know it, we're completely out of ammo for all our guns. This isn't a problem, however, when you have the world's slowest karate chop. Trapped in the cabin by a cluster of fucks, we just need to carefully manage our ammo, murder efficiently, and we get out the other side with our life and some ammo. Pop around the side, finish destroying the camera, and we're off to the final set of cabins. The final security camera does manage to pick us up, tripping the alarm, but it's okay. I have no bullets and everyone comes running out of the cabin ready to kill. What could possibly go wrong? Really? Alright, it's fine. It takes a really long time before the dudes come running outside this time, so we can duck inside this building and pick them off as they enter. Once we get back outside, we head towards the helipad where we plant a bomb on the chopper. Then we simply head inside the bunker where we are immediately captured. Level complete. This return trip to the bunker sees the facility much further along in its construction, as well as another bump up in difficulty. We start this level locked in a cell and have to escape along with this lady. Luckily the bad guys are stupid and didn't take Bond's watch, which has a magnet that can grab the key across the hall. We wait for an opportune time to open the cell and rub our fingers on the guard to death, collecting a gun and the key to the other cell.
Okay, bye!
Okay, hi. We're gonna be breaking out of this cell a lot. We leave that lady here in her cell for now because we don't want to have to babysit her stupid ass while completing the other objectives, which include destroying security cameras, comparing lists, and grabbing a book and a tape. This calls for a stealthy approach. I'm really good at stealth. The guy down the hall has a keycard on him, but unfortunately he also has a club. This run is already over. On attempt 5, I opted for a more cautious and patient approach to stealth, a first in human history. It's at this point I started questioning if completing the game on 00 Agent difficulty is really worth it. There are a lot of levels to finish. I could simply show the path through Secret Agent difficulty instead. I've already played through all 19 levels on both difficulties, and I have all the footage, and Secret Agent difficulty is a decent representation of the game. But really, I know that's not an option. This is one of my favorite games ever, and despite the repetition, I'm still having fun trying to get through it. Like I said, going through each level on each difficulty is the true Goldeneye experience, and the 00 Agent difficulty is the pinnacle of that experience. It's the final challenge. Besides, after last episode's debacle, I need a win. So we press on, and this time we bring the lady with us because, nah, fuck it. Also, we have knives. Waiting for a goon, we wind up and throw our first knife with perfect accuracy. We're so stealthy, the enemy doesn't see the knife hit the wall in front of him, and we get a second chance. The next victim doesn't die so quickly, and we wind up in a familiar situation. The next few attempts go much the same way, except I don't seem to be able to find the knives every time. It's okay, the knives aren't my favorite, and I just feel like blasting my way through over and over for a little while. Eventually, on attempt number 15, after I figured out how to consistently get the knives, I give myself over to the knives, allowing myself to be but a vessel for their murderous glory. Plus, I like the way they simply bounce off people's heads. Boink! The knives are basically required for stealth, as enemies only seem to react to the player's gunfire and not that of other enemies. We systematically make our way through the bunker, knife slapping bitches and shooting out security cameras as we go. We grab a safe key, we get our very own VHS copy of Goldeneye, and we even set off the alarms trying to get a good angle on that camera. That alarm, of course, ends up meaning the end of this attempt, but the next one is it. I can feel it. I can feel it.
I can feel it.
Statue Park always felt like a weird one to me because it's just a collection of random shit in the dark. It's fairly straightforward in layout, meaning you won't ever get terribly lost, and the difficulty eases up here compared to the bunker. Apart from running and gunning, you're simply required to meet this guy in the shipping container before heading to the end of the level where you meet Janice by a statue. We put our weapons away to meet Janice, and it turns out to be Sean Bean. He's supposed to be dead, what a twist. Pulling out a gun starts a fight as well as a timer. We've got to hurry back to the beginning of the level to save that lady. Thankfully, these guys brought us a kick-ass shotgun that slaps a dick. It's not the most powerful shotgun in a game or anything, but it's really satisfying to use, and it has almost no spread, which makes it incredibly useful, even in a somewhat more open level like this one. You know, like a good shotgun. Doom 3. Getting back to the start of the level, we need to get the lady away from the helicopter before it explodes, then go back down and grab the flight recorder before heading up to the gate. Don't be alarmed by the guys with guns. They need to capture us to bring us to the next level, the archives. This can be a fairly challenging level given the near constant barrage of guards and the constrained hallways they occupy, but all you need to do is retrieve the black box and that lady and then escape to pose in an alley. Streets ahead! I guess that lady that posed in an alley with us took off with some other guy, and we have about 3 minutes to chase them down and confess our love or something, I don't know. I'm not a huge James Bond fan. We hop into our trusty tank in pursuit of true love, but on 00 Agent difficulty, we have to swing by our dealer's house along the way. He lives in a rough neighborhood, but we can B&E through these windows to pick up some armor. After meeting with our buddy here, the clock gets pushed up to about 6 minutes, which should give us plenty of time to make it across town, assuming minimal traffic and getting lucky with green lights. At this point, the rest of the level is just a mad dash to the end. There's no reason to stop to kill all the enemies along the way. It's better to just drive past and or over them. We do have plenty of time though, so the few times we do need to stop to clear the way of mines, there's no pressure to rush. We make it to the end with more than 3 minutes to spare, and we're heading off to the depot.
Street's fine.
We've got a train to catch, but first we have to explore this entire warehouse district looking for stuff to take or explode. As you can see, ceiling-mounted turrets are the most dangerous enemy in the game, and the space directly underneath them are not blind spots. You pretty much just need to barely peek around a corner just enough that it can't see you, but you can see just enough of it to shoot. Once we get the turret out of the picture, we can completely destroy this whole setup, completing Objective C. Then we rush outside so we're not late to being gunned down in an alley. We fight our way back to the computer room warehouse, have a real bitch of a time getting the turret, cleaning up the surrounding enemies, and then... oh right, Objective C is to get the safe key. Okay, nice, we can save our bullets. Wandering back and forth for a while allows us to steadily replenish our ammo little by little, and it isn't long before we stumble onto the big old weaponry warehouse. Of course, we take everything we can before blowing up the rest, completing Objective A. Of course, we are killed after some aimless wandering and have to do everything again. This turret is so much easier if you do Objective A before Objective C. We blow up all the computers and servers in the room, as is our custom, and wander the warehouse district looking for Objective B, but warehouse after fucking warehouse turns up nothing until I'm killed again and again. Completing Objective A, then C, once again, we blow up everything in the room using a rocket launcher because it's just quicker and... Oh, fuck your entire mother, you slick-shitted cunt. Objective fucking B requires every single thing in the room to be completely destroyed. Objective B, destroy the computer network, is not completed upon destroying both servers and all 4 computers. Is there an undamaged chair in the room? Computer network is still up and running, fucknub. I've been running around this level, totally fucking lost, for literally and exactly 45 minutes and 31 seconds. 1 minute and 45 seconds later, we've got the whatever from the safe and caught our train, which whisks us away to our next destination. Train. Train starts off with an interesting challenge. Since everything is explosive in Goldeneye, having a room full of destructible crates doesn't mean just a room full of destructible cover, but actually dangerous cover. This first attempt to play defensively doesn't go so well as a result, and the next attempt at a more offensive strategy ultimately works, but at a great cost to health, which can't be replenished. This kind of level design, where you're expected to die over and over until you've memorized your way through the level, reminds me of video games. Oh, also, don't forget to shoot these little boxes. There's one in each car, and they're an objective. Most of the level is shooting faces in narrow spaces, which means death isn't always easy to avoid, but the real challenge comes at the end. Apart from the little boxes you're blowing up in each car, the rest of the objectives are all in the final car. The first attempt goes like this. The second attempt. Third attempt. I'm feeling good about this fourth attempt. I'm feeling okay about this fifth attempt. Hey, look at that! The game upholds FPS tradition, and we're off to the jungle, another great level that doesn't change much between difficulty modes. Even on 00 Agent, the objectives can be completed by moving forward and shooting everything. Early on, we start by moving forward and shooting everything. But before long, we come to this bridge where we kill some lady and take her sweet guns. Across the bridge, we need to take things a little more cautiously, as there are now turrets that can eat away at your health in no time. The soundtrack being entirely ambient sounds really boosts the atmosphere and helps put you in the mood for a bit of a slower, stealthier stalk through the jungle. That is, until you get through the caves and come to this area filled with assholes. Even though one of the objectives is to protect that lady that's here for some reason, it never becomes a problem. I'm not sure if she's invincible or if the enemies just never target her or what, but she's never caused me to fail this level. Great level. We get the elevator that takes us to the next one, the control center, and with that we are on the final row of levels. This one only has 3 objectives: protecting that lady some more, disabling a satellite, and destroying some mainframes. Easy. The opening of this level has turrets placed high up on the walls as well as a few enemies, so we need to take things slowly and carefully. There's still a few enemies in here, but thankfully the security staff of this base is composed entirely of deaf people. And soon it'll be composed entirely of dead people. Once the area is cleared, we need to get the lady out of the elevator. After she awakens from her Vietnam flashback. We need her so we can use this computer because James Bond canonically has no arms. She unlocks the door that takes us the long way around through a bunch of enemies because fun video game, and we very carefully shoot the guys because hard video game. One asshole keeps throwing grenades. The first one leaves a cloud of smoke that obscures our vision just enough that I don't want to risk it, so I wait for it to clear. But this just gives that prick enough time to lob another fucking grenade. I hear it hit the wall, so I hang back and let it explode, and while that's happening I get a good angle on the piece of shit that threw the grenade. Then I'm not sure what happens, as there's an explosion over here that kills the final guy. I think he tried to throw a grenade too, but it bounced off the wall near him and landed not too far away, maybe? I'm not really sure. Whatever, we head over here to grab some remote mines before pressing on. We expertly mow down several more goons without taking any damage, then open the door to reveal this goober. He pulls a gun on us, but we just take it out of his hands. As soon as we look away, he runs upstairs. Following him, we come across 2 more enemies. Moving up 1 more floor, we duck into this little area to find some much appreciated full body armor. Now we've got to go around placing remote mines on each mainframe. 8 mines, 8 mainframes. It's important you don't set off the remote mines yet, just place them. The first 4 are easy to reach, but this room back here has more turrets and can be a real death trap if you don't know what to expect. However, turrets can only see so far, so we get a line of sight on one and then back away so it just sits there until it explodes. At this point, some human enemies are alerted to our presence and come over to politely ask us to leave, but we politely decline and everyone is okay with that. We use the same trick on the further away turret and finally enter the room, but not all the way as there is a turret on each side here. We simply peek out just far enough to shoot them and that's all of them. 4 turrets and 4 guys. Now we can place a mine on this one mainframe and leave. The door immediately to the right and the door on the other side of the staircase are locked, so we can't reach the other mainframes yet, so we head through the door on the 2nd floor and reach another locked door. We can hear that lady typing away on the other side, and before long... in just a little while... any fucking day. The lady gets through the door and joins us. She wants to check her email, and now it's our job to defend her. We do... an okay job. This time we got this, no problem. We run up and take out the first guy immediately, then back down to get the guy behind the glass. We keep an eye on the other side of the room, but quickly turn our attention back towards the staircase, which tends to be where most of the enemies like to go. We dip out to grab some ammo, and on our way back in, we spot an enemy going for the far staircase. We check the near staircase to ensure it's clear, and then turn back to eliminate the threat. A few more waves of enemies later, and we've done it. That lady runs back to the elevator we started in, and we blow up the mainframes we've already rigged. Now we just need to destroy those last few mainframes and get out alive. After gathering up some ammo, we open this door and find a hallway filled with goons. No problem, we just stand in the corner and wait for them to come to us. Some ass fart shows up in the distance and manages to hit us, but it's not a big deal. We make short work of all of them and then gather up the ammo. Unfortunately, this master of gun fu pulls off an expert maneuver that we are helpless against and, like a true professional, shoots us in the dick. Fortunately, our dick is strong and can withstand several bullets. Heading back to that now goonless hallway, we head down to find a locker room with more armor waiting for us, as well as a warehouse where we run and shoot and have a grand old time. But Sean Bean doesn't stick around and the party dies down not long after. So we complete our objectives and head on our merry way. Caverns. Here we have to blow up a bunch of shit, use a radio, and not kill scientists. At first, we just need to move forward, shoot a bunch of guys, and then we come to this room. We need to get the scientists away from the computers so we can destroy them. Then we just keep moving forward up this giant spirally bit. The dark clothes the enemies are wearing can make them a bit hard to see from far away, but luckily they're too stupid to use this to their advantage. Once we've gone through the room with all of the crates and get to these walkways, the level opens up a little bit. Stairways on both ends of this walkway mean that enemies on the other walkway can potentially get behind us if we're not careful. There are also multiple paths at this point, including these doors on the upper walkway and this room with some crates and lockers that we find on the lower walkway right below our initial entrance. Behind those lockers is a dark tunnel that takes us up behind more lockers. Destroying them will draw some attention at this point, but we simply hang back and wait for the enemies to come to us. One guy is staying far away, but he's no problem for guns. What almost is a problem is the dudes at the top of the stairs, but they are soon quieted by the gentle caress of our bullets. There's also a mounted turret on the ceiling, but it's easy enough to handle. We see computers, we destroy computers. The massive door over there is locked, but taking the smaller door over here brings us back out to the walkways. We head back to the staircase and go down to clear out the lower walkway, but we only come across one enemy. Heading back up, we immediately see another enemy on the upper walkway, then another. They very nearly kill us, but somehow we remain unkilled. After taking a quick look around to make sure the walkways are now clear, we can approach this next room much more carefully. Deciding on a stealthy approach, we silently snipe these guys through the windows. Success! No one else in the room has been alerted. Once we step inside, we're able to snipe another enemy in similar fashion, but this one alerts everyone. Someone throws a grenade and the resulting explosions, plural, kills someone. We get out to have a peek, but can't get a clear enough picture through the smoke. However, we do spot a bad guy, so we duck back into the doorway and wait for him to come to us. Waiting for the smoke to clear, things sound quiet, and we notice this brave soul standing in the corner simply refusing to react to anything in front of his face. Thankfully, he reacts to something inside his face, and we can fully enter the room. Except there's still some other jackass over in the corner who shoots at us. We simply shoot the explosive barrels that line the wall, and oh right, we need to use that radio first. Fuck. Okay, this time we managed to kill the bad guys without destroying the radio. We use the radio, get the science man to run away, and then make big boom happy good time. All we need to do is make it to the end of the level, but like last time, we have no health left. One shot and we're dead, so we need to be extra careful. Fucking balls in my ass, you get the point. I do it on the next try, and I'm getting ready for this game to end by this point. Thankfully, the final level cradle is the final level. The goal is simple. Destroy control console, destroy Sean Bean. Immediately ducking back around the corner at the start will net us some body armor, and killing these motherfuckers before they get too close will net us some better guns without getting shot. We need to shoot our way down to this area and into this room, where there are 2 turrets and our first objective. Meanwhile, enemies will spawn constantly, so we need to be on our constant lookout. Once that's complete, we chase Sean Bean, who likes to shoot at us and then run away while being invincible. After a long run around, Sean Bean heads back up to the top part of the level. It's important to remember that enemies can't see through the railings, so when we're being shot, we immediately check behind us to find a guy ready to die. However, Sean Bean has a very loud gun, so we die like a second later. So we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again. and we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again. Oh, I get knocked down, but I get up again, and then I get knocked right back down. After chasing Sean Bean all over the fucking place, he finally makes his way to the very bottom where he runs out of invincibility. All you have to do is follow him down and kill him. After chasing Sean Bean all over the fucking place, he finally makes his way to the very bottom where he runs out of invincibility. All you have to do is follow him down and kill him. Of course, the level won't actually end until Sean Bean is dead, and Sean Bean decides to really milk this death scene, so all we can do is wait. I hate so much. So we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again, and we try again, and we die again, until finally... Sean Bean has the good sense to die quickly so we can all go home. Oh hey, my ride's here. Cut to credits overlaying Bond and some lady mashing faces in an unfinished jungle area, followed by the cast credits showing off all the characters in the game. I decide to switch graphic styles so we can see each older character model contrasted directly with the newer model. There are a few issues with this being unfinished, such as the occasional headless guard or this two-faced twisty-armed monstrosity. Once it's over, we're kicked back to the level select menu, where we can move on to the first secret unlockable level, Aztec. In Aztec, we need to reprogram the shuttle guidance and launch the shuttle. We begin with a small pew-pew in a room with 3 guys who all have much bigger rat-a-tats. We take on a high concentration of lead as a result, so when opening the first door, one bad shot leaves us wide open for death. Alright, so we need to take things slow and steady, which doesn't work out super great in the first room. But moving on, we do much better, clearing this room that has a big gap running through the center of the room. At this point, you can tackle the level either by going forward through the door or by jumping down into the gap. You're going to need to go almost everywhere over the course of the level, which basically just loops back around to this point with little in the way of branching paths, so you're ultimately just deciding from which end of the level you want to tackle the whole thing. I tend to choose the door as the level just feels more manageable to me this way. Opening the door reveals a room with little alcoves, and in some of these little alcoves are normal-sized dudes. These normal-sized dudes can kill us if we're not careful, which we're not, so they do. We have a few more attempts that end in quick failure, but then we manage to survive the first room without taking damage. Getting through the next room with minimal damage, we lure 4 alcove boys out here where we persuade their lives to end. We make our way inside and delete the final alcove boy. This glass room at the back requires a security card, so for now we use this computer terminal to open the secret passageway where we shoot this head with this gun. On the other end of the hallway we come to some sort of conference room with an enemy on either side of the entrance. As soon as we fully enter the room, the ceiling opens up and we need to destroy one of these computers to get into the narrow halls. At this point, a handful of enemies are coming for us, but we can't retreat back into the conference room because it's exploding. Because the architect of this place was clearly not insane, of course the conference room is placed directly underneath the space shuttle launch pad. Do they replace the computer terminals after every launch? Anyway, we take the leftmost narrow hall because there are turrets on either side, but facing away, making them trivial to deal with. Heading right from here takes us to a dead end with body armor in it. Going back the other way, we reach the end of the narrow hall and come to a giant grate that can be walked through, which takes us out to the launch pad control room thing. But we need to be careful as there are enemies and turrets waiting for us. First things first, ducking down and looking across the room, we can see another giant grate that can be walked through, and an enemy that can be shot through. Next, we get just far enough to see the barrel of a turret, while to the turret's camera, we're still obscured, letting us destroy it without any danger. Next, we peek our head out and get shot in the face. But the next time? Well, the next time I die at the start. But the time after that, I burned down, fell over, then sank into the swamp. But the time after that, I make it back and murder the guy that murdered me. From this same angle, we have a clear shot on the turret directly above, and for some reason it can't see us. There's also a much closer turret that can easily be destroyed from back here. Most of the threats in this room have been eliminated by this point. Now we just have to peek around the other side of these crates and eliminate the rest. Fortunately, this first guy has a bad angle on us, so he's gone. The last turret is handled just like the first turret. That guy toward the center has a perfect angle on us, so we need to slip around to the crate in front and peek around the far side. This leaves one final enemy on the far right, so moving up the wall towards him and waiting for a good time to pop out and shoot is pretty much our only option. Heading into that other walkthrough grate, we come to the most difficult part of the level. We shoot this guy no problem, but that alerts Jaws, the famous movie shark, who dual wields immediate death. Getting back to Jaws isn't a problem, we just have to carefully do everything exactly like we did before. This time we're not taking any chances. We toss a grenade and run like fuck. We hear the explosion and we wait for Jaws and any other enemies that may have been alerted. Okay, where the fuck is everyone? Quick aside, the gun I'm holding has no ammo counter because it's the Moonraker, a laser pistol with infinite ammo and no reloading. In case you haven't noticed, this game has a nice big selection of weapons, ranging from kick-ass to club. Anyway, turns out someone chucking a grenade into the room wasn't enough to get this guy's attention. I'm pretty sure there's normally another guy on the other side of this entrance, and I'm pretty sure the explosion killed him, but you know, fuck it, was probably nothing. After this guy's tragic and unforeseen death, Jaws is immediately on us. Shooting from both hands means he always has an angle on us if we try to peek around corners, and he takes so many shots before he dies that we can't help but take a bunch of damage. Luckily for us, we managed to sunlock him at the last second, and since we don't need to reload, we can just hold him here until he and his little goon buddy both die from one extremely botched laser eye surgery. We grab the smart card and head back the way we came. Where the fuck did he come from? The shitting ass plastic! Once I return to the Jaws area, I decide to try a different tactic. I head into this hallway and get his attention and run like hell all the way back up to the launch pad room because rockets are always launched into space 50 yards away from their workstations, and head straight up this ladder. As soon as he climbs up here, I'll headshot him and hopefully stunlock him or even knock him off the ladder. Yeah, that worked about as well as I expected. At this point, it's around 10 to 20 minutes between fights with Jaws. I've been playing this level over and over again for an hour and a half. I'm about 20 hours into this game, but the fact that those 20 hours involved running through the campaign 3 times with only minor differences between them all crammed into the span of a weekend, it's feeling more like hour 40 at this point. I wholeheartedly support playing all levels in all 3 difficulty settings, but I would suggest spreading it out to avoid burnout. Anyway, I'm not even bothering to show you most of my failed attempts in the interest of only having too many gameplay montages in this video, rather than way too fucking many. Attempt 29, don't let me down. I lure the big guy over to the ladder, only this time I have more health and 2 grenades. He heads for the ladder and I throw a grenade down, backing away to avoid his gunfire. Oh, of course, fuck me, right? I'm not sure if that second explosion was anywhere near him, but everything seems quiet. Is he dead? I think he's dead. No! Attempt 34? No. Attempt 37? Nope. Attempt 42? Hell yeah! Grab the smart card and let me just take care of these 2 guys before I go... What about another hour later on attempt 55? That fight goes pretty well, and I even managed to stunlock him to death again. Grab the smart card, head back to the glass room we couldn't get into before. Here we grab a DAT and use the guidance data we brought with us on this disk drive. At this point, enemies will start endlessly trickling into the room. Thanks to the protective glass, enemy bullets can't hit you, and none of the enemies have a key to open the door. The Moonraker, however, can infinitely shoot right through the glass, giving us an extremely unfair advantage, which is more than fair considering some of this game's bullshit anigans. Once the coast is clear, we have to make it back to the computer to upload the launch protocol data to initiate the launch sequence, giving us 30 seconds to head up the fuck! Piss off! Head up the ladder and god damn it! Shit! No! Alright, coast is clear, head back through here, but this time we head up the ladder first. We just need to open the exhaust bay door thing again so the rocket can launch. I think I forgot to mention that to get through the amazing conference room cremation chamber combo, we had to close the exhaust bay doors at this computer earlier so that a blast door isn't blocking the way to get to that glass room. So yeah, with the exhaust bay doors open again, the rocket can launch. Now we can upload the launch data and just wait out the 30 seconds cowering in a corner like the real James Bond. A constant stream of lasers keeps me entertained and safe from the goons that want to rustle my jimmies or even Bernard my Theodores. That last second headshot's pretty sweet too. We get a shot of the rocket launching, and with that, all 19 levels have been completed on all 3 difficulty settings, ending our long Goldeneye journey to unlock level 20 Egyptian. Egyptian is the same on every difficulty, we just need to find the golden gun and use it to kill Baron Samedi. On Agent, this is no problem. My regular pistol is taking down enemies in a single shot, and in no time I've cleared a room of 4 enemies, all dual-wielding automatic weapons without taking any damage. At this point, we basically just walk around shooting everyone we see. Once we hear a laugh, we know that Baron Samedi is after us. Shooting him with regular weapons seems to kill him just fine, so I don't know if we actually need the golden gun to kill him, but it's part of the mission, so we need to get it either way. Then it's just back to wandering around. I don't remember at all where I'm supposed to go, but that's what Agent Difficulty is for. I can run around building up a mental map with very little resistance. Then when I'm tackling the harder difficulties, I can use that knowledge of the level to get right to the point and avoid needless dangerous enemy encounters. I suppose it's a little weird to be illustrating exactly why I support the all levels on all difficulties playstyle once we've reached the very last level, but since the level unlocks only with full completion of the rest of the campaign, I'm left completing it 3 times in a row in under an hour. So there's this noise. Something is opening somewhere. I'm running around trying to see what's opening, and I come to this gap that I can't walk out of, even though I could swear I could in the original. And then suddenly I do. And I realize there's a door there that shouldn't be invisible. I come across a hallway I can't enter, and yep, invisible door there too. And that takes me exactly where I need to go. What can I say? It's an unfinished build. The golden gun is surrounded by turrets that I think might be invincible. Yeah, the pedestal that it sits on is also invisible, and the glass raises whenever we get close. Don't even bother trying to figure it out, just look it up. The trick to this is to walk along a certain path on the floor, which deactivates the security, but there is nothing in the game that hints at this. Anyway, once we have the golden gun, we hunt down Baron Samedi and kill him. He laughs off each death and respawns somewhere else in the level, and it's just a matter of finding him and killing him until the level finally ends. I use the golden gun each time just in case it matters, and we get the cinematic masterpiece. Now that all 20 levels have been completed on all 3 difficulties, the 4th difficulty setting is finally unlocked, 007 mode. This is just an extra mode that allows you to tweak a few parameters to make a level as easy or as difficult as you want. It doesn't add any new missions to the levels, it just uses the 00 agent mission list. And that's the basic GoldenEye 007 single player experience. There's still tons of extras to unlock and play with, but I did all that stuff back in the 90s, and for now I think it's time I move on. What do you think of GoldenEye? Is it a classic that you love revisiting, or is it an aged relic that you can't find the fun in? And with that, this concludes Season 1. Season 2 is already in development and many of the games have already been chosen, but nothing is set in stone, so feel free to let me know what you'd like to see me play in the future. I like all genres, so don't be afraid to suggest your favorite and least favorite games. My next 2 videos are looking like they're going to wind up to be about as long as this one, if not longer, so I just want to apologize in advance if there's a bit of a wait until the next one. I know this one was a bit of a wait, and the next ones might also be a bit of a wait too, so sorry. Okay, well, I'm rambling. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I hope you had a good 2023. Bye-bye!
Sight to see, a treasure for the soul to find. If I needed you When